Welcome all of you. So in this video, this is the second part of electrolysis, and in this video we are going to start with the applications of electrolysis. Like we have something like electroplating and electrorefining. These two things we are going to see in details in this video today. Okay, let's start. Now what exactly is electroplating? Electroplating is, you might have seen, sometimes we say some jewelry, okay, it is actually made out of silver, but then with a gold plating, so it gets the finish of gold. Similarly, there can be certain spoons which are made out of maybe some other metal, and then it gets a plating of silver, okay, or it is not completely made out of silver, you get a layer of silver on it, so that is electroplating. So sometimes to prevent rust, certain iron objects, we do a nickel plating on them as well. So that is exactly what electroplating is. Now we do that, we put the layer of the other metal on it with the help of electrolysis. Okay, so first we will do electroplating with nickel. Okay, so you'll note one thing, that the main method of be it acidified water or be it PbR2 or copper sulfate or electroplating or electrorefining, the basic concept of electrolysis remains the same. Okay, so here we have one anode and we have a cathode here, and then goes the wire. Okay, and here we have the electrolyte. Okay, so here we are electroplating with nickel. This is with nickel. Okay, now what exactly we are doing here is, here in the cathode, what we do is we suspend, we don't put a cathode straight away. In the negative terminal, basically, supposing we put a scissor, okay, we put a scissor over here in the negative terminal, and this is the anode. Now this is a pure nickel block. The anode is a pure nickel block. Okay, if you see this is the object on which we are going to electroplate. Okay, so here I have taken a scissor. Okay, now in the solution is nickel sulfate. Now here I want to say something very important. It is, if we are trying to electroplate with nickel, then the electrolyte must have nickel in it. Okay, so we are electroplating with nickel. Here this is the anode, okay, which is made out of nickel. So now what happens is, in the solution we have NiSO4, and what happens in the solution is Ni2 plus SO4 2 minus, and H2O that splits, you know that by now, and OH minus, because after all it's a solution. Okay, then what happens at the cathode? Now at the cathode you have this nickel, in the solution goes here, because it's the positive charge, positive ion, cation, it goes to the cathode. Okay, and now what happens is, it starts sticking on to the cathode. How? Ni2 plus, from the cathode it gets 2 electrons, it gets discharged, becomes neutral nickel, it becomes metal nickel from iron, nickel ion, and starts sticking over here. Okay, and what happens at the anode? Now in the solution we do have these two, negative ions we have in the solution, but then this nickel, this block of nickel acts as an active electrode. It acts as an active electrode, and it starts dropping nickel. See, this is nickel minus 2 electrons, and it is Ni2 plus. So what happens is, it leaves 2 electrons here onto the wire, and itself becomes an ion, it becomes a cation, drops into the solution, and from the neutral nickel atoms, okay, the nickel atom here, so leaves electrons into the wire, becomes nickel ion, and goes into the solution. That nickel, this nickel now travels to the cathode. So even if the nickel from this NiSO4 is over, the solution and the cathode keeps getting a supply of nickel. Okay, what happens as a result is this block of nickel, it loses mass. It becomes thinner and thinner. Okay, and finally it becomes very thin when we by the time we have electroplated this. So another thing I will mention in electroplating is the current has to be low. Okay, in all electroplating, whenever you are doing electroplating, the current has to be low. Why the current has to be low? The current has to be low because if you are passing a very high current and you are in a hurry and you want to finish your electroplating fast, you are running a very high current, what will happen is it will not be these in the whatever you want to electroplate, that object will be having lumps of nickel, okay, but it will not have an even coating of nickel. So the current has to be kept low for even coating. Another thing, we need a direct current for electroplating. We can't use an AC current. If we use an AC current, then there will be change in direction of the current again and again, and what will happen is what just became neutral nickel, this nickel, it will again get discharged, it will again become an ion and fall into the solution, and things like that will happen. So we want a one-way travel of our nickel ions, and so it has to be a direct current so that the direction remains the same. So this is what happens at the anode. Now what we can say is, because nickel is faster in leaving electrons, okay, so these two don't get a priority. Sulfate and OH minus don't get priority, and hence nickel gets priority in losing electrons. Had these gone here, they would have also lost electrons, but they just they remain here in the solution, and nickel does the job of leaving electrons at the anode. Okay, so this is again the work of an active electrode. Okay, so this is how we coat with nickel. Now the next one is with silver, okay, with silver, coating with silver. So what we do is we put everything is pretty much same. We put a spoon here, okay, there is a spoon at the cathode, okay, this is the cathode, and we have a spoon there. And now in place of the nickel, what do we have now? We have a block of silver, and drawing in the same diagram, it's easy to remember, certain things just changed a little bit. What changed here? Okay, the solution also has to change. Sodium AgCN2, sodium argentocyanide solution. Okay, so we have, as I said, if you are trying to coat with silver, this solution should have silver, it should have the same element. So next is, now what happens in the solution? NaAgCN2, this is Na plus Ag plus, remember these are metals, Cn, this is cyanide, okay, 2Cn minus. Here at the cathode, what happens? Let's see what happens at the cathode. Ag, this Ag plus goes here, travels here, because this is positive, it will go to the negative terminal. Ag plus plus, okay, it gets electrons here, okay, this is the place where it gets reduced. So Ag and plus 1 electron, and we get Ag, that is silver metal. We get silver metal, neutral, it sticks on it gets deposited on the spoon. We are coating the spoon with silver. At the anode, what happens? Now there are negative ions, okay, here I missed the one with water, H2O, H plus plus OH minus, okay. At the anode, what happens? At the anode, we had the negative ions, we had this and we had this, okay, but what happens is this silver block gives out, because silver in the electrochemical series, silver comes right at the bottom. Okay, so it leaves electrons, it will get priority. So what happens is, this silver, it leaves one electron and it becomes Ag plus. Okay, silver becomes Ag plus here. So here silver becomes Ag plus and it falls into the solution, and then it travels here and this reaction happens. So we get a deposition of silver on the spoon. So if they ask you what is the product formed at the anode, no product is formed at the anode. And what are the ions in the solution? The ions in the solution are these two, but they never get discharged. They remain in the solution. This silver block reduces in mass slowly and this gets electroplated. Current has to be left low so that there is even coating of silver. Okay. Now what we'll do is electrorefining. Okay, electrorefining of copper. Now, electrorefining of copper, very important for your syllabus. Here I want to tell something. Which are the elements that we go for electrorefining? Now, what happens is, in the metal activity series, we start with potassium, sodium, and then calcium, and we go down. So till about aluminium, these are considered to be little strong metals, high the reactive metals. Okay, starting from potassium till aluminium. Okay, so aluminium and above, these are the active metals. And what happens when these are the active metals? These active metals are extracted by electrolysis only. Okay, because they form very strong bonding, and it is not possible for any other reduction method or any other method to separate out the other elements. Like if I have Al2O3, Al is so reactive that it will hold on to oxygen very strongly. Okay, now the same happens for everything above it in the activity series. Now what we have to do is, in order to take out this oxygen, generally things below it we can use some reducing agent and take out the oxygen. For things above aluminium and all, that bonding is so strong that we need electricity and we need electrolysis for that. Now what happens, since these elements are already extracted by electrolysis, therefore we don't need electrorefining for them anymore, because when extracted by electrolysis they are already in a very pure form. Okay, so they already gain a very good purity because of electrolysis. But things below it, like zinc, like copper, okay, and zinc, copper, silver, mercury, these are the ones which need electrorefining, because we have not used electrolysis for their extraction. Okay, that's the very simple concept. Now electrorefining of copper, that's what we are going to do now. Very interesting, this is one thing I feel, one electrolysis which is kind of using the entire concept in one experiment. Now here we have some electrolyte, I'll talk about it, and here are the two electrodes. Okay, now this, again we use active electrodes here, and here goes the connection. Okay, so this one is actually a thick one. This electrode is a thick one. This is a thick block of copper. This is a thick block of copper. And this one is a pretty thin strip of copper. Okay, this is a pretty thin strip of copper. This is cathode. Again, both are active. And here is the anode. Okay, here we have copper sulfate solution as the electrolyte. Okay, so we have copper sulfate, we have anode and cathode, both are made out of copper. Okay, there's a thick block of, this is copper but impure. This is thick block of impure copper, the one we are trying to purify, we are trying to refine. This is thin strip of pure copper. That is the difference. Okay, now in this solution, let's see what happens to the copper sulfate solution, that is Cu2 plus SO4 2 minus, and then we have H2O, because after all it's a solution, there is water, H plus plus OH minus. Okay, copper sulfate will not conduct electricity if in the solid state. Okay, you need to mix it in water to make the ions, the ions should be able to travel, and that happens when you have it in a solution. Now here this is H plus and OH minus, and now what happens is this Cu2 plus goes to the cathode. At the cathode what happens? Cu2 plus, and it gets 2 electrons, gets reduced, okay, and it becomes Cu. Now just like we had the silver going and sticking on the, going and depositing on the spoon, here also this copper goes and deposits on the trip of pure copper. Okay, so it goes and this deposits on this strip, and now here this one, as we have already seen in copper sulfate electrolysis before this, at the anode what happens, this copper, there are negative ions in the solution, don't forget, but again copper loses electrons more easily than these, and so copper gets the priority, and Cu minus 2 electrons, Cu2 plus. Okay, now this is what happens with the anode. So copper, this block of impure copper, loses electrons into the circuit and itself becomes a cation, falls into the solution, travels here. Okay, so this is how the cycle is maintained. What happens is this pure form of copper, this impure copper, the thick block of copper, slowly loses mass, and there's an increase in mass for this thin strip because we have copper deposition again and again. Okay, now as this process happens, remember we are refining here. That means there is some unwanted material which we want to throw away, and so that unwanted material will be seen here. Okay, very very important. Under the anode, this is called the anode mud. Okay, now don't take them as dirt. Okay, don't do the mistake of taking them as dirt. They aren't dirt actually, they are other impurities. If we are trying to refine copper, even silver, gold, zinc, everything becomes an impurity only. Okay, so mostly this anode mud is silver, and mostly it is silver and gold. Okay, here we get that, but then there will be other impurities also, like there will be zinc, or there will be iron. Now these are the things which are little higher in the electrochemical series, and they will ionize, and they will not be fallen here, they will be in the solution. So they are also, so finally what happens, only the copper ions travel here, and what we get is a thick block of copper here, it is removed. Okay, then here also again another block of impure copper is put, here also a thin strip of pure copper is put, and then the process continues, and we get again and again we get pure blocks of copper. Okay, so what are the final ions that we get in the solution is, of course, this one, these are the ions which remain in the solution. So these are the ions which remain in the solution, and copper, this copper loses mass, this pure copper gains mass. Okay, as I said again, if I am refining copper, then this solution should also have copper. So we saw that the electrolyte is having copper. Okay, so with this we complete our chapter electrolysis in 2 videos. Okay, the next chapter we might start could be metallurgy, okay, or acids bases. So let me see which one we are going to start, but then with this we complete this chapter. If you have liked the video, if you have liked the videos, if you are liking the videos in my channel, do not forget to subscribe, and also do share my videos amongst your friends. Any questions related to these topics, you can put it down in the comment section. Okay, so also do not forget to comment if you are liking the videos. Thanks all of you. Bye then.